Hey guys, so you know how you sometimes run into people like myself? I enjoy taking things that people perceive as bad and flipping it and making it into something good. To each their own. Of course, there are those people that prefer the opposite of the coin, and it seems like they could take good things and intentionally turn them bad. And I'm going to give you an example. And this is just a reminder that they live. Ask Roddy Piper. Yeah. No, but I have actually known somebody. Which it's funny because they were trying to manipulate Source, and good fucking luck on that. You're not going to manipulate God, okay? You're just not. They told me to take away, somebody say they only had, Saint Michael or godly protection. Take a Saint Michael candle and pray to remove the protection of God from a person. Which, at the time, I thought maybe that's possible, but the more I think, even if it is, good luck, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want, even if it's not going to happen, it really says something about the heart of a person. Like, people always talk about it's the person holding the gun. It's not the gun, right? Same thing whenever they talk about witches, and it's the heart of the witch, the intent. It's like a carnivore having teeth to eat meat because in nature, that's what they consume, that they may continue in life. Anyway, the Source gave them those teeth. So, do you think you know better than the Creator? Keep faith in Source, but I'm just reminding you, there are people out there who have this heart that can really twist things. Anyway, I mentioned that, but I also wanted to mention a testimony. I don't think I've mentioned this before. So, I don't talk about God a lot. I've actually tried to bring people towards God, and I really believe that I've actually pushed them away, and as a result, I'm just like, you know what? Let me back off, right? If they want to know, they'll ask. So, but my reason, like, I grew up in the church. I kind of fell in love with the words of Christ, the ways of Christ, when I was young. Thank God for my grandmother, because she always brought me, and I'd be, listening to the preacher, but I'd be coloring in the coloring book or whatever. Anyway, and I did fancy staying amongst the adults, even though I'd go be with the kids sometimes, but I did take quite the interest in just, I enjoyed being near my grandmother, and I could keep my mouth shut and just color and listen, and I felt just as happy as if I was with the kids, you know what I'm saying? So, my testimony anyway, I'm telling you that because it's not like, he's always been special to me, right? But I guess this is when I realized how much I believe. And when I was about 20 and I was pregnant, I had a lot of people telling me and my family to have an abortion because if you have this baby, you're gonna have to spend all your money on this kid, right? Basically, and you're not financially set up, which when you consider their hearts, maybe they were coming from a good place because what matters to them is money, you know. Later on, come to find out, one of the main advocates of this, the person who used the Bible to try to have me spit in the face of the giver of life, this person, when she was 16, had an abortion. She had to go and basically, I don't want to say have a test tube baby, but basically science had to push it because nature was not allowing her to have a child. Anyway, so I had people like this around me all my life, you know, and these were my family members. Some of them, a lot of them. Like, there are a lot of people in my family who value money over life. And I don't want to be ugly. It quite bothers me. It disgusts me at some points. But I try to remember that I'm flawed, you know, and I do things that I don't like. But I'm kind of weird too. Like, I get excited getting to save a bug. Weird stuff, right? Anyway, so the testimony part. When these people were telling me this stuff, keep in mind, you know, these at the time were people I actually thought they knew their ass from a hole in the ground. Surprise. Not all of them. If I would have listened to these people, who knows? But I went to the creator of life out of respect. And I told him, I want to know what you want me to do. And I will obey you no matter what anyone else says. And he knows how to communicate with me. From 3 different people, I heard scripture. Scriptures I knew, reminders that I had forgotten, basically about him knowing you when you're in the womb. So I decided to keep my daughter, and I am so grateful because she's an amazing person, and I didn't spit in his face like these people wanted me to do. You know? I don't know. I'm not trying to judge anybody who has an abortion. For me personally, it makes me want to say really ugly stuff. Like, how could you do that? You know, but, like, I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just saying, like, I, you know, kind of get a little bit aggressive when it's like, oh, you want me to kill a piece of myself? How about you, you take your own advice? And then no. So, yeah, I get a little bit aggressive on that. But, like, I feel strongly about it. But I bring that little testimony up because even though the world was against me, Source will be for you if you come with a pure heart. And I'm not, everybody's special. Do you understand? Like, I am special, but I'm also not special. You're special, but you're also not so special that you get to be this, or this. Like, you don't get a pass on certain things, but you can be forgiven. So, yeah. Respect the giver of life, and you'll be surprised at the results of that. It would be illogical for somebody who had never seen something to believe in it, right? Possibly. It would be illogical, after the things I've lived through, for me to believe that there is not a God that I communicate with. But to each their own. And I say that because I can't hold everybody's hand, but I sincerely wish people the best. As a result, I wish that for them. And another thing, don't tattoo somebody's name on you if you plan on cheating on them, because that kind of voids out the ink. And don't take stuff out on kids and be a coward and hide in the shadows when you do things wrong, because Source will bring them to light. You know, you can find great protection and safety in the shadow of his wings. I love this shadow. I will always love the darkness and have a great appreciation for it as it was made by the source. But there's a great beauty in the light too. It can be enlightening. It can shed lies that prefer darkness, because that's where sometimes they can multiply and actually get by. So yeah, don't I don't like people that mess with kids or animals. I think that's some coward stuff personally. But anyway, and one more thing I'm gonna mention for the whole situation I've been talking about. I'm just gonna tell you a few things. I had already reported to the Federal Trade Commission or the Federal Trade Bureau. I don't remember what their name is, but I reported that about the identity theft. I actually went to the point of texting the CIA and the FBI because I don't know what the hell, but yeah, with threats and everything, you know, you're very special, aren't you? But like, I think it's interesting the tactics that are deployed against people who merely desire justice, the truth, and as the Navy says, trust but verify. The PD, I actually told them about it. They sent an officer to my house. They took a verbal note. They said they were not going to make a report or an investigation because I guess they considered it. So I'm just going to go from where it stopped. I called the courts. They said they didn't have anything on file for me. And if you do call somebody, like, to report things, know what you're going to say, because I was under the impression I could just, like, give them my story and let them come to their own conclusion. But they probably got so much going on. Actually, the numbers just keep going up and up as far as identity theft. So when people are trying to fill your head with this mumbo jumbo about how a digital currency is trustworthy, besides the fact that you got to consider the source that will, one, control it, two, who's telling you this, three, what did your source tell you? If you're a Christian, you already know in the Bible it talks about money and why it's important, you know, to have tangible. Anyway, but yeah, if you're going to call somebody, know what you're going to say, because they might just say call back when you know what's going on, even if you don't know what's going on and you're kind of just trying to tell a tip. So maybe online would be better for something like, you know. Anyway, from the ethics for the junior officer and its selected cases from current military experience, Naval Institute Press, and this is the 2nd edition. I'm going to start, like, once in a while reading a little bit out of this. Okay. Thomas Jefferson, he once said, "Nobody can acquire honor by doing what is wrong." And on page 140, ethics for the junior officer. Oh, that's the... Okay, professional courtesy and good manners should be carefully integrated parts of your command and leadership principles, both up and down. So, we have a lot of people, I think, in positions of power they don't have any sort of good intentions. Maybe they went in with good intentions and got twisted along the way. I don't know, but maybe they could read a little bit of this book, because it's actually quite a goodie. Just before an annual bombing derby, the squadron company and the operation officer of the 8-6 crew launched a functional check flight to ensure the aircraft was ready for competition. Winning was important to them, so they wanted every advantage that they could get. And basically, sometimes it's just maybe people will do unethical things to win. And if they're willing to do that, maybe they should consider the job they hold and if they're abusing authority. You would hope that people would kind of check themselves. However, people do not always do that. I mean, people are so screwed up, they might, do something like get to know your ex or your old friends, your whatever, so that they can talk bad about you, maybe even frame you for something that they did. Anyway, like there are some people that really have a lot of hate in their heart, and they need to work that out, because nobody can really work it out for them. As much as we pray for people and sincerely from the heart have love and respect for them, if they don't have it for themselves, like, they don't belong in certain positions. So, anyway, just checking in. Hope you have a good night or morning. Have a good one.